everybody, it's Cynthia here from Recollect and Ramble. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having a great day. I'm stopping by to share with you, this is my official SpongeBob Squarepants flip through video. Now I know that I did a sneak peek for you before, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this junk journal than you may have seen in that other video. So let's get started. All right, you guys. So SpongeBob, this SpongeBob Squarepants, Mr. Fancypants junk journal was made from a little golden book. And I tore the book apart. I made a new spine. All of the storybook pages are inside here, but you will see along with them, I added some pretty scrapbook paper and some other various papers that kind of have an underwater, undersea, or beachy kind of theme. All right, so as you will notice, I do have some nice sturdy book corners here on the corners, and the journal does tie closed with this beautiful turquoise blue ribbon. I just love the color of this ribbon. Now, one thing I have added to this junk journal since the last time I saw you was this cute little journal charm, which features SpongeBob here. I love this little like snow globe ornament kind of thing that I filled with pretty little beads and other doodads. And then here I've got a beautiful rhinestone bead, lots of flash and color, and lots of bright, nice colored beads there. Now it is on a plastic clip that fits just perfectly on the spine of the book, but this can also very easily be put right on the cover if that's where you would rather have it. Now, the nice thing about this junk journal charm is you can take it off, and also if you want to leave it attached, you can just flip it up and out of your way when you're working in the junk journal. All right, so now the spine for this book is fashioned in the same way as my Peter Rabbit junk journal. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link for it right up here in the corner. I'll also try to remember to put it in the description for you, so it'll be a little easier to find. Now, this is what I call a semi-soft spine. What I do is I do cover, so it's so hard to describe, you guys. I make it, but I don't know how to describe it. So what I have in here is are pieces of good, sturdy book board that keep the spine soft because it can move very easily from side to side, but then it gives it a lot of support from top to bottom. Now, the stitching lines here where I have stitched in the signatures are in between the pieces of book board. And then also here, I built this spine using fabric, some high quality felt, and the book board. I sandwiched all of that together. I hand embroidered around the outside, doing a nice blanket stitch. And then also to attach it to the covers, I did glue it securely, but I also used a bunch of brads to make sure that it really stays nice and securely. All right, so let's start with the flip through. Now, what you're going to notice about this particular junk journal, and let me make sure I'm in frame, is that I have not added any extras into this junk journal. If you stick with me till the end, I will show you all of the extras that I'm going to send along so that you can add your own touches to this junk journal. So this is essentially a naked journal. All right. There are no pockets. There's no tuck spots. There's no tags. There's no bookmarks. There's no altered paper clips. There's none of that because I want to enable you to use your own creativity and to use this journal as you see fit. Now, you will notice that there's a lot of open space. If you want to use this journal primarily as like a writing journal, I think you could do that pretty easily. All right. So let's get started. Enough of me talking here. Alrighty, so if we open the front cover, what you'll see here is SpongeBob right off the bat. Now, I did buy a large format, like kind of a game activity book that was all SpongeBob, and it was called SpongeBob Silly Pants, I believe. And I loved the illustrations on the cover so much that I lined the front cover as well as the back cover with the cover illustrations from that particular game book. So you'll see that on the front and back. All right, let's get started. Now the entire story is in here in order, so you can always follow along with the story if you like to. Now I do love the scrapbook papers that I chose. I feel really fit the theme. Like this, I really thought looked like waves and bubbles. I thought it was perfect. I did find some music some music paper that is Song from the Deep, and here we have the ocean with a ship on it. Now also I found pages from, this is sort of like a home study book, sort of like for kids who are being homeschooled. So it's got, you know, some reading and language arts and science and math and everything in it. And I did find some pages that had sort of sea creatures or seaside creatures in it. So I utilized some of those pages. Here we go, some more of the storybook. And then I did utilize some of those pages from the game and activity book. Here we are, more of the story as we go through. I thought this underwater paper with the bubbles is so great. There's Gary. Now in the center of the first signature, this is actually a piece of paper that I hand printed and then painted on. I was going to use this on a different project, but I had plenty of paper and I opted not to use this one. And I'm really kind of happy I did, because this is so perfectly SpongeBob Squarepants. The colors and everything just fit perfectly with SpongeBob. Now the binding strings are tied to the center, and you'll see they have some bright bead dangles on there. Alrighty, here we are in the second half of the first signature, following along again with the story here. Ah, SpongeBob. Here's some more of that homeschooling study book. And look, I found all these with the fish and the dolphins and the seaweed. I think it's just great. Here's the other half of that music paper that I found. And then here we are at the end of the first signature. Now the second signature, this is a 3-signature book. The second signature does not have any of the storybook in it, because little golden books typically only have 2 signature sections in them. So the center one is all specialty papers, game page papers, and also some pages from a really cute book. I think it's like a Goodnight Narwhal book, but the illustrations were so beautiful and bright. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Alrighty. Oh, look, it's a Krabby Patty. Here we are. There's some sea turtles. And this is the book I was telling you about with these bright, beautiful illustrations that I thought were perfect for keeping in here. Lots of pictures of SpongeBob on that activity page. And then again, some kind of beachy, seaside, or underwater themed scrapbook paper. Here we are. We've got fish. There's Sandy. And yes, some of the pages in the home study book did have some writing on them, but I thought that was actually kind of perfect. Now here is some cabbage dyed paper. It's this beautiful blue, which I did think looked like water. The way that I put it into the book, I was thinking that there would be a pocket here. I have decided to leave that open. If you want it to be a pocket, great. It's just a couple little lines of glue and you're done. Otherwise, it is just a little flip down for you to utilize. More game book pages. And then here in the center is just a lovely full color sort of underwater scene. Again, I tied it to the center, and the ends of my binding strings have these beautiful beads on them. All right. We're heading into the second half of the second signature. And again, kind of beachy, seaside. Here's some fish, dolphins, and there's Sandy. There's Patrick. And then here is the end of the second signature. The third signature brings us back to the story. And in this part of the story, SpongeBob shows up in his round pants and nobody seems to recognize him, which is kind of funny. Here's some more of that music paper, some more of the activity booklet. Here's Mr. Squidward, and he's actually acting like he doesn't know who SpongeBob is, but he does. I thought this pineapple paper was perfect because of SpongeBob's house being a pineapple. I thought it was great. Alrighty, here he goes. He's going to the Krusty Krab, and Mr. Squidward is waiting for you. Alrighty, there's Patrick again, and SpongeBob panicking about something, I'm sure. All right, now here in the center of this third signature, also I did some nice, some little bead dangles on the binding strings, and this is another piece of my hand-painted paper, which I thought went really nicely. All right, and we are coming to the end of the third signature here. I think you'll really enjoy this story. It's pretty funny, but when is SpongeBob not funny? All right, and there we are. So this is the back, the inside of the back cover. Here's the back cover. I did put the SpongeBob Silly Pants, a little section of that there, and you see how the binding and the book corners are secured there. Let's remind you about the little journal charm before I show you the extras that I am sending along with this particular book. So it's just this little kind of folder of trims. Not only does the paper match really well with the color scheme of the book, I am going to send along this very pretty vintage hand crocheted flower, along with lots of fancy trims. I love these fringy trims, and those will come along with your junk journal for you to add as you like. So this little folio is just like that. And then here, I actually am sending along some of the end cuts from the pages, from the papers. There we go. And then also end cuts from all of the different scrapbook papers that I utilized in the book. So those are going to come along, as well as this entire envelope full of SpongeBob and sea themed things. So here I've got just a little sticker sheet, really cute little underwater creature stickers, a couple of handmade papers here. This one is very reminiscent of kind of seaweed or netting, and then also this one has this beautiful texture, so you'll get those as well. A vintage bingo card with that great turquoise color around the edges. And then also, again, just some little end cuts of paper. Here again are some of the scrapbook papers. These are just little square pieces for you to make tags or journal cards out of as you wish. Here I have a piece. This is like a postcard, a piece of stationery, and I love this border with the orange fish and the waves there. Here is some more of from the activity booklet. We've got some sea turtles on that for you, and then here are a couple of pieces from a photo collage kit that I got. I loved this rainbow waves here. I thought that was perfect. And then here we have a school of fish. Here's a lovely print of some staghorn coral. So I thought that would be a nice piece to throw in there. And then inside these little envelopes, which you can also use in your junk journal, are just some ephemera. So here I have, this is a blowfish? Is that what they're called? No. Well, you know, the fish that get all excited and then they poof up. There are some other end cuts of paper I used. And then just some fun ephemera. Here is a little flashcard. Here I've put a lot of washi tape on here that I thought kind of went along with the color and the theme. We've got some tags here for you to use, some great rainbow colored tie-dye. And then also this is just a little snippet out of a vintage encyclopedia showing the seashore. Here are some playing cards with a seahorse, a sea star, and also a jellyfish. So that's in one of these little envelopes. And in the other little envelope, I have all SpongeBob stickers for you. See if I can get them all out of here. Some of them are kind of little. So we have some crabby burgers. What are they called? I can't remember. First off, I have a SpongeBob Squarepants sticker. And then you'll see we've got a couple of burgers from the Krusty Krab. We have Squidward's clarinet. I don't know who this guy is, you guys. I'm so sorry. Somehow I'm blanking on this little character there, like a little sea slug. Here's Gary and his food dish. There's a couple of jellyfish. There's SpongeBob again in full color. We have Patrick, Sandy, Mr. Crab, Squidward, and then also some extra cutoffs from the big game page, the game and activity booklet I made. I wish I could talk today. That would make this go a lot better. So you guys, I hope that you are still with me. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please let me know in the comments. Please leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. That would be awesome. It really, really helps my channel. All right, you guys. I hope you're having a great day. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm just a little bit distracted. So I hope that video made sense. And I hope you're having a great day. And I really, really hope that I see you right back here real soon. Thanks so much, you guys. Once again, this is Cynthia St. Anne from Recollect and Ramble. And thank you again. Bye.